Hey guys, it's Nick. Thanks for tuning into Long Island Wargaming for a 1250 point game versus Anthony. And Anthony's bringing his vampire counts, or Kyle's vampire counts. Anthony jumps between armies. He might play some Dark Elves next. He's still deciding on what he wants to play. But this is a 1250 game, and we're doing a little scenery, some pieces of terrain, extra terrain on the field, which is fun. Fences, walls, buildings, hills. So a lot of terrain, which adds for a really cool, fun, and interesting game. So I'm bringing a Skaven list with some subpar units. It's fun because at this small point levels, you can take some liberties and bring some fun, units that you usually don't get to bring. So I have some Plague Monks along with 6 Censer Bearers, and one of them is a champion. I've got behind the Plague Monks, Plague Monks do have a full command and the Plague Banner. Behind the Plague Monks are 5 Globadiers with an attached Poison Wind Mortar. I have 2 Rat Darts, a unit of 30 slaves behind the heroes. Some Storm Vermin, also a unit of 30, that has a full command, and then another Poison Wind Mortar. For my heroes, I have a Chieftain BSB with a shield, a Chieftain with the Blade of Corruption, and then a Warlock Engineer level 2 with the Doom Rocket, and Skaven Spells of Ruin, and he also has a Warp Energy Condenser, so I'm actually running no Scroll this list. So for spells, I end up getting Warp Lightning and Scorch, which is great. And Anthony gets Raise Dead and Invocation. So deployment was a bit tricky, especially with all these pieces of terrain, but I'll go from left to right. A unit of 9 Black Knights, I believe, with a level 4, with a the level 2 caster general in there, so we got some proxies for the cavalry. A Terrorgeist, which is proxied, some dogs, some Vargeists, some slow-moving zombies, and some more dogs, because these zombies are going to be outside of leadership range, but they're going to, not do too much, because they can only move 4 inches. So take a moment here just to look at terrain altogether with all the deployed units. You can see I have my slaves all the way over to the right, Storm Vermin in the middle, and then Plague Monks, Rat Darts. I got a little tripped up with deployment just because there's just so many buildings. It was kind of tough to figure out where his stuff was going to go because he actually deployed first when putting stuff down. So I've got my scrimmaging Globadiers in the building, and the Poison Wind Mortars are just going to jump into buildings and start shooting early game. Skaven get turn 1. The Wing Globadier guys actually get out of the building because I want to stay 8 inches. I want to stay 28 inches away from the Terrorgeist, so he would be able to fly up and hit the building and get my guys. So I back them out so they're facing backwards. Actually, I want to be able to get them into a position where they can throw their globes at the heavily armored knights because they're no poison, they're no armor save weapons, and everything else just kind of moves up. So I do get Scorch off with Irresistible Force onto the zombies. Kill a whole buttload of them, but they're zombies, so who cares? But I do suffer a wound. Poison Wind Mortars and shooting don't do anything. They both sway off course. So for Anthony's turn, going from right to left, the zombies go into the one building. The one unit of zombies moves up just a little bit, and the dogs are just chilling out, getting ready to deal with the rat darts. On the left side, though, the Terrorgeist doesn't move up full. He's playing a bit conservative. He is using that giant building, though, to screen his stuff, because my caster is in the Storm Vermin unit in the bottom right, so I actually won't be able to warp lightning or do anything to those units as they're hiding behind the building. Can't see them. Vargeists are also over there, so he's using this building as cover. So he does end up getting off Raised Dead, so you see a unit of skeletons or zombies, something, whatever they are, pop up in front of the Plague Monks, which is not the end of the world to me because, I could charge them and kill them, but then I have to overrun into the building, and it's not really a convenient charge. But either way, it is wonderful because it comes with a miscast, and a large round template strength 10 hits all of the cavalry, which is wonderful. They're sitting right on the outside of that there farce, so they didn't have difficult terrain tests. And it looks like all but one die, which is wonderful. The Banner guy is left, I guess. I believe Banner stays last. This sucks. I was kind of hoping he didn't roll a single one because now the unit has the availability to come back to life, but my job is going to be to destroy that unit as quickly as possible, killing that one guy left. So I end up moving everything up a bit. I charge the dog to the right. It's a tough situation here, it really is. The one Poison Wind Mortar will be able to take a shot at the one cavalry Black Knight left, but that's all I got because I couldn't march up the Poison Wind Globadiers. in close to enough range to throw at them, which stinks. I still have that building in front of me, so my caster will not be able to hit them. The rat darts do charge one of the units, or both units of dogs, and I do charge the skeletons that he raised from the dead, or the zombies, I should say. I did have a fairly successful magic phase. I kill one of the Vargheists with Warp Lightning. I go ahead and scorch the second half of this unit, or the second third of it, whatever. So they're down to like 10 or 15 guys, which is useful, I guess. So the Poison Wind Mortar goes ahead and blows himself up. I rolled a misfire, so this was the only chance I had at killing that last trooper. I do to go ahead and take 2 Censer Bearers with me. In combat, the general and all of the Plague Monks go ahead and kill all the skeletons or zombies and overrun into this building here. Slaves are going after the zombies in the building. Silliness. The hounds and the giant rats have little skirmishes here and there. And then we move into Anthony's turn. He goes ahead and moves the Vargheists and the Terrorgeists into a position where they can scream and charge next turn. The vampire and the unit, the single trooper left, don't march too far. They move just so they can get through the forest without having to take a difficult terrain test, because a 1/6 chance you would lose all the points for that unit and the ability to bring them back to life. The dogs over here charge the giant rats. And he's able to bring a few guys back to life. Looks like 3 guys are back to life on this unit, so things aren't going to look as good as this unit getting back to full strength for me. Over here, the Terrorgeist goes ahead and screams the Globadiers off the battlefield. It was no contest, honestly, because my leadership's 5 without the general nearby. The dogs keep fighting the rats. And the rats finally lose the combat and run away, and he does not pursue them. I'm just glad the rats ran further enough away that they didn't get in the way of the storm vermin. So here's an overhead shot into my turn. The Plague Monks do a swift reform and back up a bit, and the storm vermin are coming around too. I'm kind of caught up with all this terrain. I thought he was going to have more difficulty getting around with some of his units, in particular the cavalry, because of the forest and the fences and stuff, but I'm kind of getting jammed up, so we'll see how that goes. It does open up some room for my Censer Bearers to get in once combat does go down, and the slaves go ahead and charge the zombies in the building for good fun. For reference, both the Plague Monks and the Storm Vermin are looking to the left. This maneuver allows the Storm Vermin, the caster in the unit, to be able to cast Warp Lightning onto the unit of Dark Knights, Black Knights. So I do use this opportunity to cast Warp Lightning, in which case I roll a 1, which inflicts a single strength 5 wound onto me, which actually kills him, which kind of rules out any opportunity for me to probably end up winning this game, because without magic, I can't kill that Black Knight unit, or the Terrorgeists. So this is kind of painful, and this is an issue I've run into a lot at these 1250 point games, where I can just not keep my casters alive just from miscasts. I don't sink too many points into them, I don't want to give them ward saves or anything, and obviously they have no armor, but they just die so quickly from their miscasts. It sucks. So the only thing that the Poison Wind Mortar can hit is this unit of zombies, so we go for it. And like a few die. I realize here I'm never going to do anything, so I back up an inch after this combat, because I lose the charge, that's 1 point, and then I lose the 3 ranks, so that's 4 points of static combat res. And they're unbreakable, and I need to freaking grind them all down, all 30 of them, and it's just not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to get enough points to have this unit crumble, so I just back off, and I'll have the slaves do something else later on. So we move into Anthony's turn. The Vargheists go ahead and charge into the unit where the hero and the Plague Monks are, so I'll be able to use the Plague Banner this turn, but I also have the Blade of Corruption, which is 2 wounds instead of 1 for each attack made. It's also a +1 strength, I believe. Vargheist is just hanging out behind this building. He's more than 8 inches away from the Censer Bearers, so he's not able to scream at them, but he's getting into a position where he'll be able to charge or scream next turn. And the cavalry behind the fence are getting ready to charge next turn, if the Vargheists are dead. He manages to pull back a couple more guys onto this unit, so they're almost back to full strength. Kind of scary. So the Vargheists do not touch the Plague Monks. They simply focus fire down my chieftain, and he's just dead, which sucks. So we do end up killing all the Vargheists. I'm not. Maybe I didn't use the Plague Banner. Maybe I'm saving it. I think I saved it for the Black Knights. Now that I recall, but they're able to crumble. I kill them very nicely. So we used my turn as an opportunity to get an extra point for combat and do a charge. I actually charged with both units, however the Censer Bearers fall short, which means they're just going to get killed by a Scream next turn. The Censer Bearers I was actually really banking on because they would have really helped destroy that unit. First off, right off the bat, the toughness tests with no armor save, if they failed, would have killed, let's say, one. And then alone, these guys have 3 attacks each. Hatred, Strength 5. It would have been nice. It would have been very nice in addition to the Plague Banner on the Plague Monks, but yeah, I'm going in solo with the unit of monks. And let's face it, monks have no power against anything that's so highly armored, so it's not going to be pretty. I only lose 6 guys, which isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I do kill one of his, and I'm steadfast. Into Anthony's turn, we go ahead and see that he uses the Vargheist around a little bit just to get ready for another charge. He's very conservative with the Vargheist this game. In games past, he usually runs it up too far forward and usually gets taken out too quickly. So this time he's just kind of positioning it and doing a scream where he can. Nothing goes on in the backfield. The zombies just kind of stay put. He's more focused on the Black Knights and the Terrorgeist. So he raises dead and brings some more zombies to life. Faces my rear. I mean, it doesn't really matter where they go, but I was just surprised he didn't put them somewhere else to maybe redirect the storm room or something. So since the Censer Bearers had failed their charge, they did move close to the building, which allowed him to scream past the building. So these guys are all dead. Oh, the other issue was I was too far away from the parent unit, so I wasn't able to use their ranks for leadership, which would have been leadership 8. It would have been helpful, but no, leadership 5 it is. Plague Monks do poorly again. I'm not able to kill another guy. I break, he pursues, he runs into the zombies. In my turn, I run into the zombies and then kill them and overrun into the Black Knights. No magic, but backing up into shooting before we get into combat, obviously. I shoot the Poison Wind Mortar, and the direct hit ends up getting me 2 kills, which is nice. And as said before, I kill the zombies and overrun into the guys. There's now 5 left, 4 guys and the hero, the vampire. And the Terrorgeist. Can't forget about the Terrorgeist. So here's the problem. I don't feel too bad about this combat, per se, because I can kill a couple of the troopers. I mean, Strength 4, you'd have a 3-up armor save, I guess. I've got a handful of attacks, so I would ignore the vampire. But when I start getting screamed from behind, and then he starts bringing more guys back to life, it's not as pretty as I thought it was going to be. The funny thing, though, the guys that he does bring back to life, the 3 guys, end up dying from the miscast. I guess anyone on base contact took wounds. So he brings 3 guys back, kills 3 guys in the process, so he breaks even. In shooting, he rolls a 12 for the Terrorgeist, which pretty much concludes the game because ripping off those Stern Vermin before I even get to fight really hurts. I am running my Chieftain BSB in there, so I was running Leadership 9 with my ranks, so I had a good chance, but nope. And you can see into combat, I do alright. I kill a few guys, leaving him with the Vampire with 1 wound and the unit Standard Bearer. So I do alright. It would have been better if I had more ranks, because then I would have had him crumble more. The Terrorgeist goes in and charges into the rear. And when he manages to bring a few more guys back to life, I call it right then and there. Victory to Anthony, and this is supposedly the first time he's won against me. I thought he has beat me before, but nope, he said this was the first game he beat me, and all the power to him. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. 1,250 points. Skaven versus Vampire Counts. And stay tuned for the next game.